Good evening, Commanders, and welcome to Algorab AM. I'm your host, Commander IFlippaDaSwitch, and this is your one-stop shop for all your needs when it comes to Sidewinder Syndicate, the Algorab system, Orbs Terminal, Elite Dangerous, and everything the Great Wide Galaxy has to offer. So, like I said last week, this week I'll be taking a trip out to the Black to go meet up with a friend and a good ways out there. And it's funny because all this is in relation to a bunch of crap we ran into, it must have been 3 years ago, I think it was. And honestly, that was just kind of by accident, but I'll get to that later. Right now, let's talk about what's going on. So, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody out there, especially to any Sidewinders, that the Empire seems to be having some beef with old Liz Ryder. Now, listen, I'm a big fan of Liz's work. She's probably one of the more talented engineers I've ever met, and while she can be a little quirky, she's a pretty nice gal. So, all this news about the Empire wanting to, air quotes here, take her in for questioning in regards to potentially being involved with the bombing that killed the Duval? Come on. If this isn't the worst example of a freaking frame job, I don't know what is. Like, they're not even trying. You know what I mean? Like, at least give us a compelling story, as opposed to just like, well, she does work with explosives, and it was a bomb involved in the incident. Simple math. No, that doesn't sit right with me. Now, I know there's a few Sidewinders out there that are kind of on the fence about their loyalties, whether or not they want to side with Liz or side with the Empire, and as far as my reckoning, pretty sure that the majority of Sidewinders out there have Liz Ryder's back, this one included. Now, once this whole thing cools down in the next couple of days, we'll definitely have a little more information on what actually happened, but also we'll all have a nice little treat in the form of a double-engineered missile rack. And I don't know about you, but again, big fan of missiles. I'm pretty interested to see how this whole thing plays out. Man, honestly, with that being said, I think, it really was like 3 years ago, that I just was kind of, well, listen, I don't like to admit it, but I didn't always have my space legs under me, if you will. I used to not be that great of a pilot. Well, I was a good pilot, and then I stopped flying for a very, very long time, and then became a very bad pilot. What a lot of people don't tell you is that if you don't fly for a long time, it's not exactly like riding a bike. You do actually forget a lot of stuff. And I had forgotten a lot of stuff. I remember one day, I think it was Wholesome. I can't remember who. Someone, though, passing me in the hallway made some offhanded remark about how they hadn't seen me in a ship since I had gotten the Forbes. And, because at the time I didn't really have a ship. Actually, I didn't have a ship at all. And I really hadn't left the port since I'd gotten there. I guess my ego kind of got ahead of me, and, well, it's when I probably made one of the dumber choices of my life that actually ended up being one of the cooler adventures I had ever had. This isn't so hard. Don't know why I ever thought this would be difficult. I made it all the way to Seoul, man, no issues at all. It would help if this ship wasn't total junk. I don't understand why Thea Gilly was so secretive about it. Kept it locked up like it was made of gold or something. It's just a junked up ass scout. He's definitely done some work to it, though.
Hey, Switch. What the hell are you out? Bring that ship back now.
Hey, boss man. You're coming in kind of broken. What's up?
Bring the needle back. That ship has an frame shift drive, and you don't know how to properly.
Look, I'm a little rusty, I admit, but it's an ass. How difficult can it be to pilot this thing? Kids get provisional licenses in these types of ships, right?
No, you don't understand. You need to bring it back. Don't jump past.
Thea Gilly? Hello? The comms burned out. Well, that sucks. Well, maybe I can fix it. Hold on here. Let me. Oh. Ow. Damn, okay. Hold on. There we go. Just need to bypass that relay. And we're all set?
Frame shift drive charging.
Wait, what? I didn't put in a destination. Abort jump.
2,
Computer, abort the jump sequence. The hell was that? How the hell does the ship jump a system without... Holy crap. Oh, the ship on fire. Oh man. Oh jeez. Oh, please stop burning. Please stop burning. Oh man. Felix gonna be so pissed. Oh, stop burning! Okay. Alright. I finally got the fire under control now. Okay. Whew. I need to figure out where I am. Hold on. Computer, what system are we currently in?
Unable to retrieve astronomical location at this time.
Huh? What do you mean unable to get location? I have the entire galaxy in this database, same as every other commander. What? This makes no sense. How can there be no data on this system? This ship has like a 20 light year range at most. I should be one system over from Sol. What gives?
Unable to retrieve astronomical location at this time.
Computer, give me a diagnostic rundown of the ship now.
Say please.
Wait, what?
Say please, that I will run the scan of the ship.
Computer, are you giving me sass?
My name is Jenny.
Okay, Jenny, can you please run a diagnostic scan of the ship, please?
Hull integrity at 99%. Long-range scanners and comms inoperable. Life support at maximum capacity. Frame shift drive unstable. Coffee maker inoperable. Audio console malfunctioning.
No coffee. Well, that'll never do. Okay, gonna get the comms back up, fix the coffee maker, then I'm gonna figure out where I am, get back to Algorab before Thea Gilly even has time to be pissed off at me for stealing the ship. Yeah, easy. Yeah, easy. Goddamn wires. Why is this not grounded? Who freaking wired this? Why won't this work? Blows a fuse every time I...
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
No. So, it's been 4 hours. I have not fixed the comms. Something in the wiring is causing the self-destruct to start up whenever I try to send a message. So I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon. Then I tried to scan the system I'm in, but the long-range scanners are done for. I thought there were redundancies or things like that in these types of ships. Then I remember that this is an ASP, Scout, and it sucks. Well, it wasn't a total loss. But this is hydraulic fluid. What in the jet gang cursed hell?
I'm a radio DJ, you damned machine. You think you can deny me my coffee? I will show you!
It's oil. Okay, it's been nearly a day. Luckily, the ship has food and water supplies to spare. I honestly think there's enough water on this boat for 6 people. Whatever, I'm not complaining. I am a little bit. I want some coffee, damn it.
Commander, you appear stressed. Would you like my assistance?
No, computer.
Jenny.
Okay, Jenny, I don't need any help unless you can tell me what system we are in. Otherwise, I'm not gonna fly blind in a frickin' star system I don't know if I don't even know where the hell I'm going.
I'm sorry, Commander. I am unable to determine our location because the ship's navigation database does not contain any system matching our current location.
Well, then the database is useless, isn't it?
Self-destruct sequence initiate.
Wait! What are you doing? Don't self-destruct.
You stated that the database was useless. As the database is a part of my core systems, that renders myself useless. Ergo, I must self-destruct.
No, not while I'm on the ship. That's... Listen, I wasn't calling you useless, okay? I'm lost, and I just need to find a way back, or a way somewhere. Either way, I just need to not be here. Stuck, you know?
Commander, would you like some coffee?
Yes, please. That's still oil.
Commander, I recommend a frame shift jump in order to alleviate your current problem.
We can't lock into destination without a set point to jump to. We're jumping the ship blindly into freaking God knows where. We could end up in a star, or in a black hole, or some other shitty mess.
By my calculation, you have enough rations for 80 cycles before depletion of resources becomes problematic. Surely, in that time, someone will find the ship. Or you'll find an inhabited system.
Wait, what about fuel? Does this ship even have a fuel scoop?
Affirmative.
Well, I can get anywhere just sitting here. I can't fix what's wrong with this ship right now. Screw it. let's go. Can't be much worse than sitting here and wasting away at the universe's worst ship.
Self-destruct sequence.
No, not you. I mean, well, are you gonna do that every time you get your feelings hurt?
Affirmative.
Great. All right. Let's get this show on the road. Rock and roll! Oh god, no.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Yeah, that was, man, that was the start of quite a crazy adventure, if we're being completely honest there, Commanders. But, I mean, there's still more of that story to tell, but maybe I'll get around to it. Anyway, I do want to move on over to a particular interview that we have, thanks to our intrepid field reporter, one MonoHive, talking with that Richard guy about the festive Christmas expedition that will be going on come around the holidays. And here we go.
This is MonoHive reporting to you from the SWS Lockhart. I'm here with Commander Richard Fluiraniz today, or as most of you may know him, that Richard guy. For listeners who aren't familiar with you or the Sidewinder Syndicate, why don't you tell us a little bit something about yourself?
Hello, my name is Commander Richard Fluiraniz. I also known as a Richard guy because people cannot pronounce my last name. Right now, operations officer of the Sidewinder Syndicate. I do exploring, expeditions. I hug people and community goals and tell them they're great while I send them to the revive screen. I also do a lot of other activities. I'm more of like a jack of trades and lead dangerous. And here I am, supporting an expedition for you guys to reach Colonia and to reach some cool sites.
Awesome. And so how do you get into the Sidewinder Syndicate?
When I started playing Elite almost 8 months ago, my friend Commander Nova Hunter found me whenever I was going out of the tutorial area, and I had like a bad encounter with a combination of a Brand Dwarf, some parrots, very fragile adder, and a roasted docking computers. I was trying to dock in station, and I just couldn't dock. And my friend Nova Hunter was like watching from the station. I was like, dude, just stop. Like, do you need any help? So he kind of like introduced me to everything Elite. He introduced me to Inara, EDSM, ED Market Connector. He indirectly introduced me to the Sidewinder Syndicate. And I actually joined the squadron in Inara, but I didn't join the squadron in game. After some months, I went to the Black, conducted a private expedition, met some friends, do some cool stuff and everything. So I surveyed an area near the Heart and Soul sector for a while, and then I came back. And then my friend Nova Hunter say, hey, there's this expedition and they may need a carrier. So I was like, all right, I rode my carrier. That's been like a very bad financial mistake, but you know, it's there. So when I saw this expedition, it was kind of incomplete. It didn't have like an itinerary and everything. Probably there wasn't time to do all that. So I kind of like organized a lot of like the expedition, give like a routing, make like a schedule. And, you know, for joining this expedition, you know, since I was doing it for Sidewinder Syndicate, you know, the correct thing was to, you know, join the squadron. So I joined the squadron just, you know, because I was around and everything, and because I was kind of like organizing and everything. And yeah, I've been around the squadron. We've done some activities, we've done some VGS, some exploring, and some organizations. I have made some good friends here, so I just came here for the expedition, and you know, I just stayed for the family.
Hey man, honestly, I think you're being modest, because I remember that expedition and some of the locations that we went to, and that was the first time I saw a stellar nursery and O-type stars and supergiants. It was really cool. I don't remember what system it was, but it was just full of all these really luminescent stars. Man, I forget what the system was called.
Probably it was this system that is called the Fireflies. The Fireflies, yeah.
Yes.
I always forget the name. Yeah, the Fireflies.
Yeah, that was exactly it. And I remember immediately after that, heading back to the bubble, and the first thing I did was build an exploration ship that I wanted to spend, you know, months and months in. I'm still working on it, but that expedition inspired me to do that. Okay, I know you have another expedition planned for the end of the year, and that sounds really exciting. But before we get to that, there are a few questions I am obligated to ask you. Okay, so what's your preferred choice of controls when you're flying a ship in Elite?
I use my keyboard and my mouse.
Okay, cool. Keyboard and mouse setup. What about a HOTAS? Is that something that you've maybe dabbled in, or?
I actually bought a HOTAS, but I just haven't had no time to actually install it and to understand or actually plug into it. So I have my HOTAS over here in the other corner of my room. It works, but I just haven't plugged it.
So you're a guy who owns a HOTAS, but you don't use it.
Don't tell Flip, because I actually bought it like 2 weeks before Flight Simulator, and he's gonna get so pissed about me. So don't tell Flip.
Well, I'm not editing this out, so he's gonna hear about it, and a lot of other people are gonna hear about
And
it.
it was a good one, and I got it for $70. So I actually got a deal with it.
Okay, just stop. You're just making this worse. So when you do get down to using your HOTAS, which is lying in a corner in your room, how are you going to current setup?
If I will use my HOTAS, it will be mostly for exploring, so I can have my keyboard and my mouse free and try it with my HOTAS. Probably gonna do that for my HOTAS.
Gotcha. Okay, so you are an avid explorer. You clearly enjoy this aspect of the game. Are there any third-party tools that you use while you're exploring? And if you do, what are your favorites?
Yes, I use mainly Elite Market Connector. You can just use that for exploring. Whenever I want more deep exploring, or whenever I'm actually looking for stuff, I use ED Discovery, with connection of NRM and EDSM, because it allows you to see all the systems and their values. It gives you a galaxy map with points of interest. It allows you to schedule expeditions with distances. And allows you to see events in the game. So if you actually think you missed something, or you've actually found something that is unusual, ED Discovery will register it. It's a very cool software. I really like it a lot.
Nice. So I'm familiar with ED Discovery, but not so much with Market Connector. Could you maybe just elaborate a little bit on that?
Okay, Market Connector is like the most basic version. It's just something that tells you your location, the ship that you're driving, and that is something that you have around. So it's essentially something that registers your position and tells you what you have all the whole time. So since you send that information to sites like Inara and EDSM, you can actually have a lot of tools at your disposal to know, what are you missing in your inventory? How far are you from the station? What's the nearest station? What's the nearest commodity? Stuff like that. It gives you, information that you can get into the net. And also the Market Connector, since it's such a simple program, it allows you to put add-ons in there. So essentially, you can put something called the Spatian Neutron Router as an add-on to make it a Market Connector. So you can actually, using a database that has been made for players, you can actually plot neutron routing using the add-on. So essentially, you put the size of your ship, the weight of your ship, the light year range of your ship, the efficiency, and then you put your destination, and it will actually tell you where's the next neutron star and where's the next waypoint, how many jumps do you have. So, and also another add-on is the Canon add-on that tells you, if in the system there's like certain organics and stuff like that, or it also tells you, if you can help. Market Connector is a little program that you run that tells you your location, the ship that you have. I can also click at your ship name so you can look at your Coriolis build in real time, so you can actually make some engineering. That's actually really useful. And sends information to the major sites. That's actually pretty great. It's a little program that does a lot for you.
Nice. I didn't know about that. That sounds super handy, especially the add-ons with Canon and stuff like that.
We're gonna post it in the coming months. We're actually gonna post a guide about that. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. So you clearly enjoy exploring, but it's one side of the game. What about other things? What is your favorite thing to do in the game, or your favorite thing about the game?
Essentially, I get to do what I used to do in a kid, but real time, with ships, and I get to enjoy with some people. So really, my mission here is that I like to bring the joy of exploring and to discover this stuff to new players, and to use this gigantic playground that is the galaxy to do some awesome stuff.
Nice. Speaking of the galaxy, currently our interaction with the galaxy is limited to what we can do with our ships. So considering that, what ship do you enjoy flying the most?
My favorite ship in Elite, after like debating it for a long time, is the Orca. Because of like the amazing things that you can do with an Orca, man. Like after you go Orca, you don't come back, man. It's a very comfortable, big ship, really easy to handle, really easy to manage. It has a lot of like really good module, internal and optional module spot. The only thing that it doesn't have is a lot of hard points, and that's kind of like sad because the Orca, in the hands of experts and really good people, and memers and Orca gangers, they had some for the Orca gang boys over there. A decent combat ship that it doesn't count as a large ship, but it counts more like a medium in terms of combat. But essentially, you can do everything with an Orca, even mining with an Orca. Essentially, I drove an Orca for a long time. I used to drive an Ass Explorer and like my Ass Explorer, even have the ship kit for the Ass Explorer. But then after I started driving the Orca, man, having that comfortable, those 60 light years, man, having all the modules that I want without like going below 60, and actually surviving a lot of hazards and a lot of misadventures because I haven't died in an exploration trip since I got the Orca engineered. Of course, I died because of shenanigans and all this stuff, but like actually dying like in the trip, surveying and something. Nope, no deaths. And I used to die a lot. And it's because it's so easy to handle, man. As I say, if you want the 5-star exploring experience, man, get an Orca. Don't go back. Don't go back.
Yeah. And I think more often than not, people overlook all the subtler aspects of exploring, especially when it comes down to choosing your ship. And the main focus is always maximizing your jump range. But you are also spending a lot of time in this ship, and you're doing a lot of other things apart from jumping. So, it's got to be something that doesn't drive you crazy. Okay, next question. In the time you've spent in game so far, what is something that you've done that really stands out to you, or a memorable in-game event?
I think my most memorable experience was like in the expedition when we went to where we made the launch. The entire survey that I had, the Giga Chat expedition, as I call it, that was mostly like a survey to that area. My most memorable expedition was like the math launch that we had for that. My friend Phil and others, Crimson Gamer 99 came to that too. We all organized and spent the afternoon exploring. I think that's one of like my best things because we're like 10 people in a meme expedition, not knowing we're gonna find what we actually wanted to find, and all together in the math launch, and it was actually pretty great. So that's one of like my most memorable expeditions. Most memorable moments. I had other memorable moments in different parts of the game, but essentially all the expedition math launches, all the photographs that I've taken, and all the point of interest that I've experimented with friends. Those are the best memories, and this is why I want to bring exploration to the more people that I can, because I know that the best memories that I've done in Elite, outside of combat adventures that I had from time to time, are in exploring, because the galaxies are playground, man. We just need to get there.
All right, and I think that's a good way to segue into our main topic for this interview, and that's the Christmas
Colonia Trip.
The Enthusiastic Christmas Colonia Trip. Okay, I should have written that down on the palm of my hand. Okay, so I've signed up. I'm really looking forward to this. But for people who are listening who may want to sign up and may want to know a little bit more about the expedition, could you give us some details?
So, we just came from Quito the Heart like a month ago, and we were like, screwing around and everything. I kind of had like something planned out for winter, but like, it wasn't like that. It wasn't really that defined. So I have my true friends that are like really good, really good explorers that helped me in the previous survey expedition that I had like some months ago before going to Quito the Heart. That was the Giga Chat and the R8 sector survey. That was a little bit of a private survey that we went to the area and we kind of like, got points of interest and something like that. So, we sometimes calm and chill and talk around and all that stuff. So there is this other expedition that goes to Colonia called the Christmas Carriers Convoy. Every year they, get off their cargo and they go to Colonia, and they bring gifts to Colonia and everything. So this year, what happened is that they said, hey, we're gonna do this, but we're just gonna go straight to Colonia in our carriers. Like we're not gonna do anything else. We're just gonna straight out go out to the stations and we're gonna go to Colonia. And then my friend Phil and Halpy were like, well, that sounds pretty boring. You're going through an area of space with so many points and so many exploration potential, and you're not actually exploring, so why are you even doing this? So they told me, they came to me and say, hey, Richard, I know you have a carrier, and I know you do this crazy expedition, so how about we have an enthusiastic trip to Colonia, where we not only bring the Second Winter Syndicate and anybody interested to Colonia, but also we do some cool exploring so that people can actually enjoy and get a taste of like what's exploring in Elite Dangerous, like actual waypoints and stuff that we explore and all that, so people can get the experience and also get their engineers and everything in Colonia by the end of the year, where the end present is gonna be having the Colonia engineers and everything there. So they told, let's do this. And we organized. We did all the paperwork, and we did everything before the last month ended. We published the expedition, and there you go. We have an expedition for December. So essentially, what the Enthusiastic Christmas Colonia Trip is going to be, we're going to have like at least, I think, 30 to 40 points of interest collected from previous expeditions and previous trips, and also some special points of interest that legendary explorer Phil P and Halpy have collected from the previous expeditions.
All right, for people who are signing up for this, who may not have been on an expedition before, how do they keep track of it? And do you have some advice that could maybe like help along the way?
Yes, our expedition is in EDSM. We're actually gonna inform everybody whenever we're going to a certain waypoint or something like that. So commanders will not necessarily need to park in the carriers at all times whenever we jump, but just for them to be aware that the carriers are moving, so they kind of like explore the waypoints as we advance and stuff like that. And then whenever they need another ship or something, they can just come back to the carrier, but not necessarily they need to stay with the carrier, but they just need to be around the carriers. Since we're gonna go to a very dense part of space, you don't need to go really far to discover stuff, because there's just so many stars that you can just be like in a 1,000 light year range and still discover a lot of stuff that people haven't discovered. What we encourage the people is to not stick around with the carriers unless you're not going to be present in part of the expedition, so you don't want to be left behind, but just to make their own exploration routes and to go to any points of interest that we're going to put in the list in their own rate and in their own schedule. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be and more than us that you're gonna define the exploration trip.
Nice. Okay, so since this is Colonia, there's also the question of unlocking engineers, which is probably an opportunity that comes up with an expedition like this. So will commanders be able to use the expedition to also do that apart from exploring?
Of course. Most of the Colonia engineers actually have most of the commodities that they get are actually gonna be like you can actually obtain in Colonia. So here's the catch. So whenever we arrive in Colonia, probably we're gonna arrive there in Christmas Eve in the 24th. And then when we arrive in the 24th, what we encourage people is to put ships from different like uses. For example, they can bring a combat ship, they can bring like a miner ship, they can bring like an extraction ship, whatever they want. So whenever they get to Colonia, there's so many places you can actually get the materials for the engineers. So we will bring some of the engineer goods for those commanders that don't want to do something. I thought they're gonna have a prize. They're gonna have a prize because if I put them like, for free, everybody's just gonna stack onto them.
Oh yeah, myself included. But anyway, I wasn't planning on asking you this, but I have a feeling that you might have an interesting take on this from an exploration angle. So with Odyssey coming out, what would you like to see as an explorer in that expansion? A lot of people talk about space legs and ship interiors. That's the hot topic. But, what are you looking for?
More than ship interiors and more like, walking atmospheric planets and all like that, because that's something that, is going to happen. I'm actually looking forward in Odyssey for them to revisit all systems that they really need update. One example is for them to revisit fleet carriers, because fleet carriers can do a lot, but I think they could do even more. So I think Odyssey will be an excuse for Frontier developments to add more stuff to do with the carriers, because they've done so before. They've done it with mining. They've done it with engineers. That they decide this, and then whenever they release something, they remaster the system completely. So I'm looking for more for Frontier in Odyssey, rather than the Space Lex experience, for them to actually rework a lot of the systems for Elite. To give a little bit, since we're gonna deal with, like, let's say, organics, I think they should revisit the codex. That really is not really great. The codex is so all over the place that whenever you discover something, you don't really find out what's the difference of what you discovered. So that's actually pretty bad, because I like that. I like to know what I discovered instantly. So, codex rework, fleet carrier rework, to introduce new ships into the game. The Space Lex experience, but I'm more excited for them to actually rework systems and make them better, rather than just the Space Lex experience. So I actually want that when Odyssey is released, to know that they're gonna add more stuff and make the carriers more enjoyable. Because if it wasn't for the expeditions, I will not have a carrier. Like, it's such a colossal monosync that the only reason that I have the carrier is because I do activities with the syndicate, like bringing ships, going to some parts and everything. But if I will not have the carrier, I will just not do that. Well, I will just do it, but not have, it will not be as expensive as it is. I'm looking forward for them to rework systems.
Yeah, I think this is something that more experienced players talk about, where you understand the limitations of certain mechanics or systems in the game, and you see the potential to make existing features more enjoyable or more robust, so to speak. I do hope they visit that too. Okay, Richard, this has been great. Again, we're all looking forward to the expedition at the end of the year. Let's see if I can remember. It's called the Enthusiastic Christmas Colonia Trip. Okay, cool, 10 points. If people want to sign up for the expedition, you don't have to be a member of Sidewinder Syndicate. You can look up the expedition on EDSM, you can join the Discord, and you can sign up. Again, Richard, thank you so much for being here with us. It was great talking to you. And before we leave, do you have a message for our listeners?
Yes. Make more friends, play more and open, because you find the greatest experience in the games are just like playing with a space where you can find other players. Don't fly in death traps, don't fight without shields, and play dangerously, commanders. This is the Richard Fluiraniz, signing off on the SWS Lockhart, orbiting a very deadly star, and I hope you guys like the podcast, okay?
All right. Okay, so this is Command MonoHive reporting from the SWS Lockhart for Algorab AM.
And with that, I think we are going to close out this week's episode of Algorab AM. Commanders, if you're not a part of Sidewinder Syndicate, you ought to join us. You ought to come on out there. Head on over to Nara, look up Sidewinder Syndicate. The whole application process is there. You can also join us over on Discord. I'll put some links in the message description of this here audio broadcast. And just come on over. It's a great group of folks, and we're all just looking to have a good time. So with that, I just want to say thank you very much for listening. I'm going to probably spend the rest of the evening jumping out there until I get too tired, then I'm going to take a nap. Fly safely, live dangerously. 07 Commanders, out.